Good evening. So we are continuing with the Uddhav Gita. We are in chapter 24 and the verse that we will be doing today onwards is 13, 14. So what we had learned last time, it is only when you have a pure Atma, that means absolutely a pure mind, pure intellect, that you can understand Krishna is in everything and everything is in him only. Now, this one which is represented in you, that is Krishna represented in you, is called the Atma. Now, this Atma is not only inside of you but even outside of you. That is why there is no differentiation between what is outside and what is inside. It is the same. And because it's the same Atma, Shri Krishna is saying to Uddhava that you have to see this Atma in everybody. And it's the same. Now the difficulty arises over here when people are not able to see this Atma as one. So today we are going to understand how this is done. We are doing Uddhav Gita, chapter 24, verse 13 and 14. O great soul, he who, taking his stand on pure knowledge, thus regards and honors all being as myself, who has the same attitude towards a Chandala as well as a Brahmana, a thief as well as a patron of the Brahmins, a spark of fire as well as the sun, a ruffian as well as a kind man, is considered a sage. These are multiple things which Krishna is talking about. He is saying, when you have a pure mind and you have a pure intellect, the knowledge which comes within you is called the pure knowledge. What is this pure knowledge? Pure knowledge is nothing but discrimination. To see God, you should be able to see God. That is the truth alone. So when you see God, which means that God is everywhere, can you see that? Or do you see individuals? Do you see people? Do you see things? And everything is separate? The moment you see everything as separate from you, then that is a mundane knowledge. That is your material worldly knowledge. So you see your parents, your children, your spouse, relatives, friends, colleagues, people from other countries. You may say that, I can see all these people as separate than me. And some of them are good people and some of them are terrible. Some of them are from high caste and some of them are from low caste. I mean, see, the caste system is actually not supposed to be there, but it is prevalent not only in India but in other countries as well. Now this, you can definitely see the differentiation. You can see a person who is a poor man and a rich man. You see a good human being and then you see a very bad human being. So if you are able to see all this, then you are not having that supreme knowledge. So here he says, when you take a stand on pure knowledge, thus regard and honor all beings as myself. Can you honor everybody as me? It's very tough, isn't it? Can you see Krishna in everything? That means whether it is a person who is on the roadside, a person who may be homeless, maybe a beggar, can you see Krishna in him? And can you see Krishna in the super rich people also? Can you see Krishna in the Bill Gates or Warren Buffets or Ambanis of this world? Can you see them in that? See, the thing is, you see rich people and you see poor people. The reason is because you do not have that knowledge. So the knowledge to see everything as Krishna alone, that is the highest truth. So here Krishna says, it's the same attitude towards everybody. A thief as well as a patron, that is a patron of Brahmins, that somebody who is praising Brahmins, somebody who gives money, somebody who donates to charity, that kind of a person, and an absolutely a thief, a person who robs from them. Can you see Krishna in the person who robs from the poor or the rich? You will not be able to see. You will see only a thief. And you will see a good man giving money to someone. That's it. But look at both these people. Why does this difference appear to you? This difference appears because of ignorance, or what we call as the divine Lord's Maya. You are not able to make out the difference between either of them. And this is the problem. So he says you have to see the same in the thief as well as a patron of Brahmins, a spark of fire as well as a sun. Can you see the same thing, that is Krishna, in a tiny spark as well as a big one, that is the sun itself? A ruffian and a kind man. Can you see Krishna in a ruffian? This is a Gunda Mawali, they say. So can you see Krishna in a Gunda Mawali? Maybe he is committing murders. Maybe he is a jailbird. Maybe he is doing drugs. Can you see Krishna in him? Or do you see Krishna in a good man? A kind-hearted person? No, you should be able to see Krishna in everything. It is only when you are able to see the Lord in everything, that time you will be called a sage. So we move to the next verse now. We are doing Uddhav Gita, chapter 24, verse 15. Ideas of rivalry, jealousy, pity, and egoism quickly depart from a man who always thinks of me in all men. The idea that, oh, this person has more than me. Alright? This person is doing better in their life. They have money, they have power. Whereas look at me, I have nothing. I'm a poor man. This difference arises. Or there is a rivalry. See, the rivalry is like this. Oh, she loves Krishna more than me. I cannot have that. I love Krishna more than him or her. There can be nobody greater than me. See, this is the ahankara which rises in a person. And this ahankara can lead a person to ruins. If you love Krishna, then you have to see Krishna even in the person whom you think is a rival. Can you see Krishna even in that? Their objective is Krishna alone. So if the objective is Krishna alone, why is this difference coming in? Why this rivalry comes in? So Krishna says ideas of rivalry, jealousy. Oh, look at her. She's dressing up like this. Or she's giving more gifts. What does she think? Or she's going to, butter Krishna up nicely? The problem in our world is that jealousy is one of the biggest vices in the world. You should avoid jealousy. There is no need of jealousy. A person who is able to avoid this jealousy, this avarice, rivalry, the pity that you have. Poor fellow, look at him. He cannot even afford that person never does anything. You see, the idea that you pity someone. Why? Because you think your devotion is higher than that person's. You are not supposed to even pity. You are not supposed to have any ego of any kind. Serving Krishna, when a man who always thinks of me in all men, Krishna is very clear. This rivalry should not be there. This jealousy should not be there. The pity and egoism should not be there. I am the greatest devotee of Krishna. I can do this. There is nobody greater than me. That is egoism. Egoism should not be there. What are you talking about? You think Krishna is in some image or some person? No. This is the truth. Krishna is in the person that you think is your rival. The Krishna is in that person which you believe is the worst character on earth. Krishna is even in the thief. Krishna is in the person who treats you badly. You may think Krishna is not there in them. But this is exactly what Krishna is trying to tell you. He is saying, can you think of me being in that person? Then you got to love that person as well. You cannot show rivalry. You cannot show any kind of antagonism against that person. These verses are very hard-hitting. Please understand one thing. This is for a devotee of Krishna. A devotee of Krishna should not be bothered about anything. A focus should be single-pointed devotion to Krishna and should be able to serve everybody. Not just oneself. Then it becomes egoism. If you are only thinking of yourself rising higher into the realms of Krishna, then I think there is something desperately wrong with you. You have to make everyone a similar devotee like you, because you see Krishna in everyone. And when you see Krishna in everyone, then everybody is going to be the same gopi. And this is the truth which Krishna is talking about. Everybody is a gopi. Some of them don't understand. Some of them think of themselves as a poor people. Some of these gopis think of themselves as, utter crazy people or maybe useless kind of people. They think that they are not worth it. They are covered by ignorance. They are covered by Krishna's Maya. And Maya covers them up so beautifully that they themselves cannot make out that they are the same devotee of Krishna. They may oppose Krishna. They may call him names. They can say whatever they feel like. They are allowed to do so because of their ignorance, because they are covered by Maya. Maya is a powerful tool of Krishna himself. Please remember this. Krishna uses this tool not because he hates somebody, but because he wants that thing to be established in that person. Whether you love Krishna or you hate Krishna, if Krishna is there in your mind 24/7, you will anyway reach him. Both will reach him simultaneously. That is the truth about him. Krishna is in everyone. So, those who think of me in all men, you have to see Krishna in everybody. No jealousy, no rivalry, no pity, and no egoism. Alright, so we move to the next verse. We are doing chapter 24 from the Uddhav Gita, verse 16. Ignoring the derisive smiles of one's friends and leaving aside a merely physical view of things as well as shame, one should prostrate oneself on the ground before every creature, down to the chandala, a cow, an ass, or a dog. Can you do that? Can you see Krishna in even the worst creature on earth? And can you bow down to that person? I deliberately do that. Do you know what I do? I tell the person, I want to see whether you can bow down and touch the feet of that person and see Krishna in that person. The ego comes up. The ego rears his head and says, no, how can I bow down to that person? That person is the worst creature on earth. Here Krishna is himself endorsing it. He is saying, even if somebody is giving derisive smiles, look at him. He is bowing to the cow. Or he is bowing to that idiot. What is he? He hates Krishna from the bottom of his heart. He doesn't like him. Oh, he is not the kind person. He's a very bad person. Do you know what all they have done? Well, you are supposed to bow down to them. Krishna is very clear in this. You have to bow down to every person, even the worst person on earth, a Chandala as well. Do you think this is very difficult? It is the toughest thing for the highest of the devotees. You should know this. For the highest of the devotees, those who are rising higher and higher in devotion, do you know how difficult it is for these people to leave their ego? They will not want to bow down to anybody, especially the people that they hate. See? They don't like certain people. I don't like this one. I don't like that one. Because they can't see Krishna in that person. Krishna is in everyone. If you think there is a differentiation, somebody calls Krishna names. The person is derisive. It speaks very badly. Even then, it is your duty to bow down to that person. Many years ago, there was a person whom I was teaching. And this person was quite an adept. So I told one of my disciples, bow down to that feet. Take the blessings. Learn from that person. Do you know? It was the toughest thing for that person to do. Every day I do this. There are newbies. There are people who come newly. And they feel that, oh, my devotion to Krishna is the highest. I know what I am doing. So, they are told that you have to bow down to a person. You have to listen to that individual. Why? Till your ego doesn't go. Nothing. You will not get anything. No Krishna is visible. This is the truth. And this is what is attempted every time. So the person is told very clearly, okay, you report to this person. Naturally that aversion comes, or that, oh, you want me to talk to some small person? I am greater than that person. I will go and talk directly to Krishna. I will go directly talk to the topmost person. Oh, is that so? It's a failure. Because if you cannot leave your ego, if you are not in a position to bow down to every person, whether it's the highest to the lowest, you should be able to be kind to everybody. Touch their feet. It's only when you do that your ego is overwhelmed, it is destroyed completely. You should be able to do that. It doesn't make a person small. Krishna bows down at the feet of every person on this world. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa used to say these words, I am the servant of the servant. That means what? I am the servant, the smallest person over there. Even today, when people come and stand in front of me, I talk in a modern language. I'll say, good morning, boss. Good morning, madam. Good morning, sir. It's a way of addressing. The reason is because there should be no ego. No ego whatsoever. You should be able to touch the feet of your greatest devotee also. And Krishna does it. It is his greatness. If Krishna can be such a great person, what makes you think that you are such a, some great individual? And this is the truth. You should always bow down to everybody. It is the need of the hour to destroy your ego. It might be a cow, an ass, a dog. These are names given to individuals, by the way. You say, look at that cow. We call a person a cow, Especially people who are, well endowed, well fat or something like that. People will say, oh, look at that cow, look at that fat bull. What are you talking about? Or somebody who is completely a dunce, they will say, look at that ass. What are you saying? Can you bow down to that person? No, it is my nose is up in the air. I am the closest to Krishna. I cannot bow down to anybody. This is the problem. The truth can never be understood. And here in these words, Krishna says that you should be able to touch the feet of every person, because primarily you have to see Krishna in everything, every person, every animal, birds, or even a stone. The worst kind of creatures to the highest kind, doesn't matter. So, when you do this, people around you will laugh at you. They'll say, look at this person. He's touching the feet of some useless person. Or they will leave aside merely a physical view of things as shame. They'll say, oh, look, they will shame you. And they will say, look at this idiot. Doesn't matter. Don't bother about what people say. People have no right to say anything, and yet they will show their ego and say, it really doesn't matter. So what you are supposed to do is bow down to everybody. Just bowing down and touching the feet is not important. No. You have to continue to do that, which means to see Krishna in that person. Not just one, oh, I went and touched the feet of this person, I feel great. No. Your demeanor or the way you behave doesn't behove of you. You have to show. We say in Hindi, vinamrata. I don't know the English word. You have to be very, very kind to the person. You have to bow down to the person. You have to show how deeply indebted you are to that person, because he represents Krishna. He or she represents Krishna. And they may be the worst creature on earth also, like I said, a Chandala, a lowest caste person or a highest also. It shouldn't matter to you. Can you do that? It's only when you do that will you achieve the highest. Krishna himself. We go to the next verse. This is Uddhav Gita chapter 24 verse 17. One should worship thus in thought, words and deeds, till one comes to look upon all beings as myself. This is the place where everybody loses out. Sometimes I tell the person, go touch the feet of that person, or bow down to that person, or take instructions from that person. Maybe because I said so, they do it. But later on, they have bad thoughts about that person. They feel terrible about it. How can this person be bowed to? They have these thoughts going on in their mind. She is such a horrible person. Why should I bow down to her? I bowed down because Guruji said so. Now I will never bow down to that person. He's one of the worst characters on earth. Is it so? The thought itself should not come. The word should never escape your mouth also. Or even the deeds. No kind of action should be done against that person. Even the thought coming to you that that person is worthless, you have failed. Please remember this. There can never be any animosity or enmity with any person. See, many people insult Krishna. They say whatever they feel like. They can get away with murder also. But Krishna's words are very clear. You have to bow down to that person as well. It really doesn't matter. You cannot have any wrong thoughts, feelings, or anger against that person at all. Then you cannot see Krishna. Krishna is in that person. Can you see Krishna in that person? This is a tough lesson. Everybody fails over here. If I have the highest devotee also, that person will also fail. Because they cannot work on those lines. Nobody can cross that barrier. It's a simple story. Can you see Krishna in that worst person also? Now, the moment I say the worst person, the thought comes of some character. How can you do that? If a thought comes to you which is detrimental towards your success of not seeing Krishna in that person, then you are a failure. If you even utter a single word against that person, then you are a failure. If you do any action against that person, any action of any kind, then you are a failure. You have to see Krishna in all things till one comes to look upon all beings as myself. This is a tough one, though it is the easiest, but the toughest because we have biases, we have animosity, we have jealousy, we have rivalry. There are so many things, and these are the cause of our failures. So we have to avoid them. And why do you think Krishna in the last stages of his life is talking like this? It's because this is what we go through. Now we come to the next verse. We are doing Uddhav Gita chapter 24 verse 18. To such a man, everything is Brahma, owing to the knowledge that comes of seeing the Atma in all. Seeing the Brahma all around, he is free from doubts and gives up all work. You know, in this verse, there is a very beautiful secret hidden. And I will tell you the secret. The day you give up your ego, bow down to everyone, have no animosity with anyone, your mind is absolutely pure, your intellect is pure, there is nothing tainting you. You see Krishna in everyone. That day, Krishna takes away the work from you. You see, you are working in this world day in and day out. Either you are a servant of some company, you're working in some organization and you are a servant over there, or you are a servant of your parents, or your relatives, or whosoever concerned. You are working somewhere. Maybe you are working in the kitchen, you are a gardener or some such kind of a thing. You are still working in this world. The day you see Krishna in everything, that day Krishna himself takes away the work from you. You see, many people in India try to become sannyasis. Try to become sannyasi. They are lazy people. They give up work. And they say, no, I don't want to do any work. I just want to go to the Himalayas or go to some ashram and become a sadhu or a saint. Krishna doesn't accept this kind of people because they are people who are running away. The reality is not there in them. They can see differences in everyone. If they see a difference between a man and a woman, that is a difference. If you see any person as an object of lust and greed, you are not even fit for that. That is why the sadhus or the saints or the sannyasis are told not to be close to any person from the opposite. That means if a man is there, there should be no woman next to him. And if a woman is there, there should be no man next to him. There should be no interaction between the two. Because to get over lust is difficult. Then greed. Then the idea that this person is closer, that person is not. The different kinds of jealousy, avarice, greed, everything comes in. Individuals are failing every day. I have not seen a single sannyasi in my life who doesn't do this. He does everything. Wherever I have gone, whichever place, mountains and all I have visited, I have seen, even if they are wearing orange color clothes or white color clothes, they are still searching for something. Food, people from, you understand what I'm talking about. They're lustily looking at everyone. They're greedily thinking that I want this and I want that. They're seeking money. They want money. They want food, good food. Krishna doesn't allow this kind of people to rest in peace because these are fake people. You cannot have this kind of desires. No. Now he is giving an understanding to you. That is why I said it's a secret. It is only when you see Krishna in everyone, and if you can humiliate yourself in front of hundreds and thousands of people, by bowing down even to the worst character over there, the Chandala, an ass, a donkey or a cow or anybody, then only Krishna will say, yes, now you are getting qualified. And then there should be no words of any kind which are against that person or that animal, or thoughts or deeds. Nothing should be against that. Krishna's diktats are very clear. Can you see me in everyone? Can you handle this kind of humiliation that will come with it? And you should not have any desires of any kind. Can you see this one Atma in everyone? That is me alone. It is only when you do that, the highest of the knowledge will come to you. Till that time, this knowledge doesn't come to anybody. And in that highest of the knowledge, Krishna takes away all the work that a person is doing. He will himself remove you from the jobs. Maybe you were serving your parents, so he will take you out of that. Maybe you are serving your wife, your children, or whosoever, he will take you out of that. Maybe you are working like some servant in some company or factory or whichever place, he will remove you from that. It's only when all these doubts are gone from you that Krishna is not in this or not in that. Krishna is in everyone. Then everything drops off. You are one with Krishna and he will take away all your work. We'll do the next verse now. We are doing Uddhav Gita chapter 24 verse 19. Thus looking upon all beings as myself in thought, word and deed is to my mind the best of all methods of worship. Remember this chapter? The title is very clear. When I started it, I had told you the easiest way to reach Krishna. You don't have to do yoga. You don't have to do any kind of sadhana. You don't have to become a sadhu. You don't have to leave anything. Whatever that you are doing, you can continue to do. But can you see Krishna in everybody? This is the simplest and the easiest way of reaching Him. This looking upon all beings as myself in thought, words and deeds is to my mind, Krishna is saying these words, the best of all the methods of worship. It is the best way to worship me. And when you worship me, naturally I am with you. Because you see me in everything, isn't it? There is nobody in this world who is against me. You should know this. There is nobody who can do anything to me. There is none dearer or an enemy to Krishna. Because for him everything is one and he is in everything. Can you see him in everything? And when you see him in everything, you cannot use any bad words. You cannot say anything bad. Your thoughts have to be pure. Your words have to be clear. No jealousy or anything like that. And deeds. You have to do good deeds. This is the best method to worship Krishna. You have done all kinds of other things like going to temples and praying and putting hearts and this and that and making fantastic statues and God knows all kinds of things. That is worthless. This is the highest. That to anybody can do. You go to entire Rajasthan or north of India, you will find people are literally talking about Radhe Krishna, Radhe Krishna. This is what they keep on doing. Does it mean that they are somebody great? No, they are not. The moment you see Krishna in everything, that time you are doing the highest of the worship. And you should be able to become humble. You should take up the derision of all your friends and relatives also. It doesn't matter. Deliberately, Krishna does put you in these kind of situations. And then he sees, can you pass in this test? Unfortunately, most of them fail. They don't pass. Alright, so we will go to the next verse now. We are doing Uddhav Gita chapter 24 verse 20. My dear Uddhava, once begun, there is not the least destruction for the religion concerning me, for it is free from desire, and I have myself adjudged this religion as perfect, on account of it being transcendent. Krishna himself has endorsed it. To see Krishna in everyone, to bow down to that person, to be very good friends with that person, whether it's the worst kind of person or the highest kind of person, doesn't matter. Whether it's an animal, a bird or whatever, you have to see Krishna in everything. Krishna is endorsing this. He says, I have myself adjudged it. Because that is the perfect religion. to know me. So far, whatever else was there was imperfect. Other things are imperfect. This is the perfect one. So what is the perfect way of reaching Krishna? Every other thing that you try, whether you pander to him, whether you give him flowers or good clothes, build a temples, or do whatever that you want to, do prayers, bhajans, kirtans, whatever else that you do, that is imperfect. What is perfect? Here Krishna is saying, I adjudge it. That means I am myself endorsing it and saying, this is what I mean. The perfect religion to reach me. If you want to reach me, the perfect religion to reach me is to see me in everything. And you cannot have any kind of enmity, animosity, or anything. No bad words, no words, deeds, or thoughts against that person, animal, or whatever. This is the perfect way of reaching me. All other ways are imperfect. They cannot be reached. You will just be hanging around somewhere in the middle. Because this perfect method is transcendent. It is beyond our normal worldly matters. Can we see God in everyone? No, we can't. There are people from other religions. There are people from other countries. There are people who are fighting a war. There are people who are becoming a terrorist or whatever. We do not see anything as good. We always consider that as bad. Isn't it true? Who are we to judge anything and anybody? These words, thoughts, and deeds, these three things we cannot even say against or for them. No, we have no right in this world. Because we are to see Krishna in everyone. This is the worst thing in the world to do. Why? Because nobody can do it. For them it is difficult. How can you expect me to talk to that person when that person is such a villainous character? Well, let me tell you, the two greatest villains of Ramayana. Two greatest villains of Ramayana. One was Ravana, other one was Kumbhakarna. When they died, they entered the being of Sri Ram. Isn't it very funny? Now, Krishna's world. In Krishna's world, Shishupal and all these other people who were there, including Kamsa. Do you think Kamsa went to hell or something like that? No. They were killed by Krishna. If you get killed by God Himself, then you reach Him only. Do you understand this? Every person who was villain in every book, if he is against that God, in Mahabharata or in Krishna's story, there were all these Rakshasas, whether it is Putana or whoever that is there. Everybody was against Krishna. Once they died, once Krishna killed them, they reached his heaven. So what makes you think that these enemies or these worst kind of people are not going to reach Krishna? This is the way in which he is talking. He is saying, if you are considering them as bad people and not bowing down to them, there is something wrong. That is not a perfect religion. This is what he says. My dear Uddhava, once begun, there is not the least destruction for this religion concerning me. You have to start this. Pray to everybody. Touch everybody's feet. Even if they are villains in your life. Don't worry. For it is free from desire. Because the moment you have desire, what does desire say to you? Oh, I don't like this. Oh, I like that. This is good. This is bad. I want that. I want this. We want this. We want recognition. Why you want recognition? So, and I have myself adjudged this religion as perfect on account of it being transcendent. That means you have to be humble. You should be able to take as much flack as possible from all your friends and relatives because you are bowing down to the worst character on earth as per them. But you are allowed to do so because you see Krishna in everything. And this Krishna himself adjudes. You see, when he say adjudge, he's making a judgment on it. And he says, this is the perfect way of reaching me. My highest devotee will do that. Okay? So we'll go to the next one. So we are doing chapter 24 of the Uddhav Gita, verse 21. O best of men, any trifling activity whatsoever, such as due to fear, etc., if it is unselfishly meant for me, becomes religion. See, here again it's the same thing. What is he saying? A trifling activity, even the smallest of the activity. It could be just getting me a glass of water. See, it could be just serving me very simply. Or, if you see a Chandala, a worst character on earth, maybe, you are giving him some help. Maybe you are feeding that person. That is also okay. So he says, any trifling activity whatsoever, there is nothing, no great job or a small job or a big job. There is nothing like that. You do it diligently. Whatever job that you do it diligently. As if it's the only thing in the world to do. Alright? So, any trifling activity also, such as the thing which doesn't allow you to do. Do you know what doesn't allow you to do? Suppose you are amongst friends. You know, there are some 4-5 great friends over there. And you see a poor man, or you see a cow, or you see some small creature, maybe a dog. The dog is, bitten by something. But if you bend down and take care of that animal, or that poor man, or whatever, everybody is going to be derisive to you. And they say, hey, what are you doing, man? You should not do these kind of things. People do that. They just keep on looking. Have you not seen that person in America? 2 security men from a building were watching one man kick an Asian woman over there on the streets. He kicked her so badly, many times. And these people were standing over there and watching like this. Think. Krishna is saying these words. A trifling activity also. Sometimes you may give water to someone. Doesn't matter. Why is this fear there? Why are you fearful that somebody will say something to me? Many a times we do not do something because we are afraid. Afraid to do that. Way back in time. This is quite some time back. One of my very close dear friends is a very tall Sardar. Okay? And the Prime Minister of India was shot dead. So he was going on the streets. A mob caught him. They were having big swords and all. And they slashed him to pieces and they destroyed his bike. He was on a bike, two-wheeler. Just because he was wearing a certain kind of clothes. This person ran inside the house of a person, of another person. He just ran inside. This individual was very kind. He took him in. Though he was from that community itself, but he took him in. And he did not allow these people to come in. And he said, no, nothing doing, you stay outside. The mob. He handled the mob. Took this man inside. Gave him water. Cleaned his wounds up because he had been slashed across his back completely. Then took him in an auto rickshaw to the nearest hospital and got him admitted over there. That is the kind of love that we need to show to all people around us. This is what Krishna is talking about. It may be the trifling activity, it could be the smallest thing in the world to do. But can you do it thinking that I am in that person? Don't consider that person as some enemy or some bad person or something like that. Doesn't matter. You have to be doing that, and you should never back out because of fear. It has to be done unselfishly, meant for me. You think that that is Krishna and you are doing it unselfishly for that person. It is when you see Krishna in everybody that you will perform this action. Otherwise you will not perform. And this is what he is trying to tell us. He says, then it becomes religion. Religion to reach me. Any trifling activity whatsoever, such as due to fear, etc., if it is unselfishly meant for me, becomes a religion. Praying to me. Many a times, young boys and girls, you see, whenever we would pass in an auto rickshaw or in a bus, and if there is a temple or a church or something like that, we normally bow down, like this. We do this and we move ahead. We may be in a vehicle. It's like whenever I was in Mumbai, I used to pass from Bandra and I would come to Mahim church. I would bow down to the church. Then whenever I went to Siddhivinayak, that time I will bow down. When I went to Mahim, beyond that, there's Sitla Devi temple. There I would bow down. Every place. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Why are you afraid? What makes you fearful? Don't be fearful. This is what Krishna is saying. Then when you see me, as if you are praying to me, as if you are doing service to me, think that you are doing service to me. And then that is the religion concerning me, and you will come to me. That is the highest of the religion. So we go to the next verse. We are doing chapter 24, verse 22. Herein lies the wisdom of the wise and the cleverness of the intelligent, that in this very birth they attain me, the real and immortal, by means of something that is unreal and mortal. It's a very strange verse. Here he says, if you want liberation and if you want Krishna, then in this birth I am giving you the lifetime opportunity. This is one lifetime of yours. You take this opportunity and do this, and you will attain me, and you will attain moksha right here and now. So you don't have to keep on coming and having rebirths again and again. Herein lies the wisdom of the wise. This is the wisdom of the wise. The wisdom of the wise says, see God in everyone. See Krishna in everyone. There can be no enemies, there can be no friends, there can be no dogs, cats, elephants, whatever. Doesn't matter. You can bow down to Krishna anywhere and everywhere. See him in everything. This is the wisdom of the wise and the cleverness of the intelligent. Those who are intelligent, they will be clever enough to understand this, that this is the only way of reaching God. If you want realization, if you want liberation, see God in everything. That is the only mantra. Then you are not going to be biased. You cannot consider people as enemies. You cannot consider them as bad people. Or you cannot say that, oh, I am jealous of this person. Everybody is allowed their devotion. Everybody is allowed their hatred. Doesn't matter. Got it? Even their hatred they are allowed. That is, Ravana is allowed his hatred. Shishupal is allowed his hatred. Who says they are not allowed? They have been specifically made for that purpose. If Ravana was not there, there would have been no Ramayana. You should know this. The answer lies over there. It is God's creation. It is Krishna who has created it himself. And what makes you think that you cannot bow down to anything? So this is called the cleverness of the intelligent. That in this very birth, this is a lifetime opportunity, once in a lifetime opportunity, it's coming your way. To attain Krishna, this is the way. The real and the immortal, by means of something that is unreal and mortal. To me, I am the real and immortal, isn't it? Through which, by looking at all these unreal and immortal, the mortal things. Mortal is the man, the animals, this whole universe is mortal. It's going to die. Right? And what is this? It's an unreal world. Everything around is unreal. But you have to see only the real in that unreal. What is the real? Can you see Krishna in everything? This is the truth. If you see Krishna in everything, that is the truth. And that is the religion which Krishna says, this is the perfect religion which I am teaching y'all. There is no other worship which is perfect. Worship me in everything around you, without fear, and no bad thoughts, words or deeds. See God, see Krishna in everything. This is the highest of the religion. This is the highest of the truth. Then this religion, through this particular technique and method which I have endorsed it myself, you will reach me. So, the real and the immortal by means of something that is unreal and mortal. All these things which are unreal and mortal, you will be able to see the real and immortal in them. And that is the way of coming to Krishna. So we have come to the end of verse 22. I will tell you all when I will be doing the rest of the verses. I will put it up on the website so that you will be able to see it. Alright? So tomorrow morning we have the Bhagavad Gita Satsang. Alright? So tomorrow morning we have the Bhagavad Gita, and tomorrow evening is the Bhagavad Gita. Then Wednesday, Thursday. So we will be having this Bhagavad Gita in the coming 4 sessions. And after that, at the end of the week, we'll see about Uddhav Gita. Bye. Take care. Have a great evening. I'll see you all tomorrow morning. Bye.